What's up everybody, this is Harsh here from MARS Gallery. Today we have with us the one and only Harsh Vardhan, the man who needs no introduction, the biggest sneakerhead of our country, and he's here at MARS Gallery to shop with us his experiences and what he's feeling today and what he's not. Harsh, how do you feel to come to Hyderabad?
I'm really happy to be here. I've been looking at pictures of the store on the MARS Gallery Instagram page on the story. I'm always happy when I'm surrounded by shoes and clothes, so this is a good space for me to be in, and you know, I'm really excited to kind of see stores like this and stuff in different cities in India, and you know, it's awesome to be here.
That's great to know. I wanted to talk about our first meeting and like, you know, how did we both meet, and it was so crazy that Virgil had a plan for us to meet, like, you know, as he's the biggest influence in my life. Can you just drop a word about like how did we meet? Like,
so I remember Mihika introduced us. Yes. Mihika and Samarth Bajaj are very close family friends that they've been my one kind of link to Hyderabad. Yeah. For all of these years, and they kind of introduced us, and obviously since then the culture's kind of really grown,
yeah.
And now it's awesome to kind of see you doing dilation and doing a bunch of things. I have some of my own ideas as well that I want to do that I've talked to you about
with me.
So I knew that the IKEA thing was happening in Hyderabad, and obviously since I knew Mika, I was like, can you go, can you see what they have, what they don't have? I actually really wanted the keep off.
Yeah, the keep off.
The keep off, which I ended up getting from abroad. Yeah. Which was a different story, complete nightmare that was.
I remember having a lot of conversations with you about keep off, like, you know, you were really interested, and I see that in your house. It's a setup really cool.
So it used to be in the living room, and now I've moved it to the wardrobe. And I also have the still loading rug. I love to collect things that kind of Virgil made, and I think the IKEA stuff particularly is like quite limited, and yeah, man, it's something that you can use every day.
Yes, but the value of this has gone up, right?
It has.
It's like reached $1,000 right now.
It has.
And back in the day, we've bought this for 15,000.
15,000,
yeah,
exactly.
Like it's so beautiful that Virgil, whatever he's touched on, has gone up in value.
Turned to gold.
It's crazy.
Absolutely.
We've seen that in 2018, we've seen that you started collecting sneakers, and your first pair of shoes were the Jordan mids which you were wearing, and the Vans which I particularly feel. And in today's world, if you see, like, a lot of people look down upon mids, and like, you know.
Right.
So what's your take on it, and how did you start your journey amongst this? What made you really go crazy about the sneakers?
So obviously, like in the last 5 years, since 18 to 23, there's a lot more accessibility that's come, right? There's places like MARS Gallery. We have stores in Bombay. You have, you know, people are more exposed slightly,
100%.
and they understand if they want to shoot that this is probably the best way to kind of get my hands on it.
Yes.
Back in 2016, 17, 18, whenever it is that I kind of got bitten by this bug, I was finding my way into the scene. So I didn't know what was what. And with me, when I like something, I'm very passionate and obsessive, so then I go down the rabbit hole, right?
Yeah.
And so actually, if I go back to who I was before this, I've always had more of like I've loved Vans and Converses. Like I love slacks, like I love a skateboarding aesthetic, and then also now it's kind of evolved to more of a rock and roll luxury.
As you've evolved as a person,
as I've evolved as a person, but I also kind of do service that kind of skater side to me as well, and which is again the versatility of the wardrobe. But I think that it's all about persona. If you like the way that mids look on you, by all means. I have a couple of mids in my collection. There are some really special mids out there, so I don't really discriminate against any silhouette. There are just certain silhouettes that I don't wear because I don't think that they look, maybe they're not my style. But the lovely thing about this game is that there are so many options, and there are options for everyone.
100%.
So, yeah.
So right as we were talking about 2018, I see a transition right after you rocket Vans and mids. You've completely changed your style towards off-white.
Right.
What really inspired you to get into this world of off-whites?
I mean, I think I just see, I don't have like a basketball background. You know what I mean? So a lot of people that have been collecting Jordans for many years are big fans of Michael Jordan and the sport, and that's kind of where it. But with me, it was purely a design thing. When I looked at kind of the stuff that Virgil was doing, I don't know, there was just something very striking about it. I think it kind of had that kind of DIY, made by hand, you know, feel, but just done obviously with like a lot of love and detail and care. And I just felt like this is something that I would really enjoy wearing. What he did was so revolutionary because it was like giving a lot of people an introduction to this kind of shoe that didn't necessarily like collect sneakers or like love basketball. You know what I mean? It's just a great piece of art that you wanted to own and have on your feet, and that's kind of where it started. And then I remember I got 1 of the 10, and then obviously I wanted to get all 10 of the 10.
So we've seen that a lot of pictures on the internet that you have a Air Force One MoMA signed by Virgil. How did that happen? And
this is a great story. I'm glad you asked this question. So I moved into my own house about 2.5 years ago. And I remember it was like peak COVID. This was like pre-vaccine COVID. And I wanted to get my own place. And so I started looking. And then I found this amazing place, and I had to put down a security deposit, which is 3 months of rent. I had to pay a broker commission. I had to pay advance rent. So there was a lot of money that was going out at one go. And I was staying at Soho House.
Are you serious? No,
I was staying at Soho House because there was construction going on at my new place, and all the stuff from my old place had been removed. So I was like, where am I going to? So Soho House, I remember they had shut down temporarily. So when they reopened, they gave members like free credit.
Oh damn!
So I was like, I'm going to stay here while this happens. So I'm staying at Soho House. I'm on Instagram, and I see a seller. I believe it was Coffee Kicks.
An Indian seller,
No, he's a US-based seller.
Okay, fair.
His Instagram is Coffee Kicks. You can look him up. And he had a pair of signed MoMAs in a UK 8.5. So to find a MoMA in your size is impossible. And I was like, dude, you know, I have to do a deal for this pair, but I don't have the money right now because of the house expenses. So much money is kind of going out. So he was nice enough to be like, dude, you know, I love your clothes, like I love your style, I love your collection, like what can you give me? So I remember going to my storage boxes because everything was packed up, opening up stuff, video calling him and being like, do you want this, do you want this, do you want this, do you want this? And I remember I gave him like 10 things. I gave him like a Amiri hoodie, Amiri jeans, a pair of Fear of God Vans, like a bunch of stuff, and about 2.5 lakhs. So the total value of the deal was about 4.5, but today that pair is absolutely priceless.
It's priceless. Like I don't think Virgil's touched that piece, and like, you know, it's impossible to find anything like that.
I really stretched myself at that point to do that deal, and I'm lucky that he did that deal with me, but that's a pair that's never going anywhere.
So talking about Virgil, because I think the main inspiration for me to open the store in Hyderabad is Virgil, because without him I don't think I would be so into fashion and like, you know, understand more about fashion, because Kanye and Virgil are the people who I've always looked on to. Because usually you say, right, you need some gurus in your life. So my fashion gurus are Virgil and Kanye, so I think I have to give everything, is all because of them, like, you know, the reason why I'm into this. So talking about off-whites, amongst these, which ones are one of your favorites? As I'm sure.
So I love the Chicagos.
The Chicagos are one of your favorites.
It's really nice to see actually a new pair of these, because my pair doesn't look anything like this anymore. What size is this?
It's a UK 9.
It's UK 9, but this is now to buy brand new pairs of these. I just feel is. But this is a crispy pair. This is obviously, I think, one of my favorite pairs that he did. It's amazing how much this has gone up in value. I remember I was in London. I bought this pair for like 900 pounds, brand new. I mean, you're not going to get it for anywhere near that now. 100%.
Now it's around $3,000.
$3,000. But this and this is definitely a double up that's going to happen in my collection at some point. As far as the 50 lot is concerned, I love the idea of it. I love what he did with it. You know, there's certain pairs that have leather finishes, there's certain pairs that have suede finishes, and then obviously the accessories like the
zip tag you're talking
about. The zip tie and the laces on top and the color here.
100%.
And the heel tab and stuff is slightly different. But I actually have the 50 or 50. So I have the all black pair, and this is actually a pair that's been on my hit list for a while. But I need to find a good deal on these at the right time. But this is not my size, but a really nice shoe.
And talking about Air Force One mids, you also have a pair of Air Force One mids, the LV Air Force One mids, right? Like, which you got at retail.
Yeah, so that's a great story. I actually was desperate to get the Louis Vuitton Air Force Ones, like we all were at retail.
For sure.
And you know, I have a long-standing relationship with Louis Vuitton India. I've done stuff for them, and I've bought a bunch of stuff.
Good purchase history, like you have
yeah,
a good purchase
exactly.
history.
And plus, you know, like I've modeled their stuff sometimes and stuff, but they couldn't get me a pair for retail, and I was quite upset. Sonam got allocation, she got a pair for Anand, the red ones, and I was like, man, I'm not gonna get these for retail. And at that point, when they first came out, the resale was insane, right? So I'm like, I'm screwed. And then so I asked my parents if they knew anybody at Louis Vuitton with good purchase history. And then they were on a holiday in the Middle East, and they happened to meet somebody that could help. And they ended up getting, we had an option on 3 pairs. There was the green pair, the green low, the white mid, and the black low.
Okay.
So
the black with the suede one.
The black suede. So I actually said that I want the green and the white. But then Anand said, you know what, let me get these pairs for Sonam. So I said, okay, but you know, I'm going to need some pair. I can't be.
Because you're sacrificing something for.
Yeah, and I've been working on this connect for like a year now, and so he took both those pairs. I got
one of the rarest pairs you can ever see like around.
So the Louis Vuitton Air Force One collection for me is something that if I run into like 15-20 lakhs of spare change at some point, I would just call up somebody and be like, dude, I'm gonna buy 6 pairs from you. Give me all the colors. Just give me all. I mean, obviously the graffiti mid I won't be able to afford in that, but I'm talking about the blue, the red, the white, the green,
everything. Like basically all of them. All of the Air Forces is
all of the Air Forces for sure. They're so sick, man. And obviously they're so special now. You could never imagine somebody like Virgil Abloh being at Louis Vuitton.
100%.
Like that journey is just insane. From Pyrex to kind of
Off-White to Louis V. It was insane, like, you know. Talking about Jordan 1s, as I've done my research, I've seen it's one of your most favorite silhouettes. What makes it so special? And I've seen a picture of yours on Instagram where you've aesthetically lined up all your Jordans. And what makes it so special for you to, like, you know, love these Jordan 1s?
Dude, I just feel like because of the way that I'm built, like I'm slimmer and I'm slightly on like the taller side, and because of the way that I dress, it just kind of works really well with my kind of physical build. And I just think it's the original, you know what I mean? It's just such a beautifully kind of crafted silhouette. And I love just like the different color iterations, the different materials on different pairs. There's so many collaborations.
100%.
Probably the most collabs with the AJ ones, right?
The AJ ones.
Like this is probably the best collab. One of the best collabs. You know, this is, you take something that's normally made in China, you hand make it in Italy, you give it a like a super high end. I mean, this is like this is Dior, you know what I mean? So
100%.
you have the monogram on the swoosh, you have the
it's totally handcrafted and like, you know,
totally handcrafted, and you can feel it. Like this shoe is so hard to break in. You have to wear it hundreds of times, thousands of times, in fact, to actually get it to soften up a little bit. So yeah,
like compared to the other Jordans,
compared to the other, there's a marked difference in, but there's something nice also about like the regular ones, because they're more lightweight. They're easy to kind of break into. The more you wear them, the better they look. They age fantastically.
So talking about Jordans, in our store we have a lot of Jordans here. Which one is one of your favorites?
So this is one of the best shoes this year. Harsh is wearing these as well. You can get B-roll of that later or whatever. But
it's a Jordan 4 with the SB.
With the SB. Right, so normally, so this is actually a 4 that's very much more comfortable than regular 4s, because of what they've done with the sole and the cushioning of it and stuff. And also, like, you have the leather, but then you have that grey suede. You have those hits of green, and I love green. Green is one of my favorite colors as well.
The watch also you're wearing is like
so I have a little bit of green there.
On it,
and
it's pretty cool.
So this is this is also pretty competitively priced. So I think that this is a really good.
As I've seen, the value of this has grown up, like, you know, gone up in the last couple of like months only. Like it was selling for like something around 25,000. Now it's like around 45,000 in the Indian market.
So just like this is like a more regular, like a more regular. But then this, you could just tell like there's a
lot of difference.
A slight difference in the quality of leather, and also like the wearable, like it's softer. It just feels like more cushioned.
100%.
This is a nice pair as well. I actually have these on hold.
The Thunders?
At Veg Non-Veg.
Okay.
So like, this is another, like Union have been doing some of the best Jordan collaborations.
100%. And the way that you can open the tongue, and like, you know, it's pretty cool.
I did that right away.
Yeah, you did that right away.
I did that right away. Cool. But yeah, man, just like love the colorway. I like pastel tones.
Yeah.
So I love this colorway. This actually I have as well, but it's dead stock. I've just never worn it. Probably.
So remember, next time if you want to give something to Harsh Vardhan, he likes pastel colorways. He'll always be happy if you like, you know.
This is a
the Jordan 4 Imamani.
This is this colorway. This violet is just so nice. What size is this?
It's a UK 8 we have like. In store,
just missed.
UK 8.5 is
UK 8.5 for Jordan 4s.
Yeah. So according to the rumor, people say that you've got the Jordan 1 Dior at retail.
Yeah,
is it true or like
it's true. So basically, when I first saw, I'm sure you as a sneaker collector and a store owner remember this day. Do you remember the first day that they broke it on Instagram, right? The pictures of the Air Dior, and everybody went crazy. I immediately that day called my Dior guy in India and I'm like, I need these pairs. And so basically worked on it. It kept getting delayed because of COVID.
Yeah, for sure.
There was supposed to have an event.
Correct.
Then the pairs came, and then basically I got a pair for retail, Sonam got a pair for retail, Anand got a pair for retail. I actually then end up paying resale on my lows.
No ways. So the Jordan 1 high is what you got.
I got for retail, which I still have. I ended up paying resale on my lows.
Okay.
Selfridges receipt with box, which I told you that I recently sold.
For sure.
Unfortunately, because I needed to make an immediate purchase.
100%.
But that's what I do sometimes also. It's like I'll sell a pair for money to buy something that I want or to pay something
at
off.
that particular point.
But then I already am thinking about saving money to go back
how
to the
how
am I going to get it back? So yeah.
So let's talk about Yeezys. Like, you know, as Kanye has been one of the biggest influence in my life, and back in the day I had the opportunity to visit the Linking Road store and like, you know, see people lining up. What's your take on Yeezys and what do you feel about Yeezys?
So I remember, man, those were the days, right? That was where it all started, and we've started getting Nikes a little more recently with VNV and Super Kicks and obviously the Nike stores as well.
For sure.
But like back in the day, to get hype was Adidas. And that's when Yeezys were not as oversaturated as they are today.
Yes.
Now they're now obviously they've stopped production a little bit, so the values are kind of going up again. But those at that time they were really hard to get your hands on.
100%.
And
I've seen people lining up like overnight, and like it was really crazy at that time.
So for me, I mean, I just feel like an interesting point that I want to make, right, is for me, I think that the current generation of young kids pays too much attention to what a creator or an artist says or does in his personal
100%.
life. For me, I'm not interested in that.
Okay.
I'm able to separate what Kanye West says and does with the shoes that he makes or the music that he makes. I don't necessarily agree with everything that he says,
100%.
but it doesn't mean I'm going to stop wearing the shoes or stop listening to the music. And I think that it's very important for us to be able to differentiate between the two.
100%.
And be open-minded enough to kind of be like, okay, I don't necessarily agree with his political stance or whatever, but I still think this is a really well-crafted, comfortable shoe.
100%.
So, you know, I love the Yeezys, and for me, they're my like walking shoes or my treadmill shoes or my weightlifting shoes. I love kind of going to the gym in these. The Pirate Black's actually the only V1 pair that I do not have. I'm very excited that they've restocked. I'm going to at some point probably get one again. I prefer the shape of the V1s personally to the V2s.
The V1s, but what makes it different from the V1 and the
I
V2?
just feel like these are a bit thicker. I like the sleekness to these, you know what I mean?
It's super sleek and like, you know,
more lightweight.
And
I just feel like it looks better. But I like the V2s as well. I just haven't been wearing them too much recently. But dude, look, you know, that's the brilliant thing about having a collection is you could not wear a certain silhouette for 2 years and then one day wake up and just wear them like all month. And so I don't think I'll let go of them ever, you know.
It's a pretty cool story because I was going to ask you what's your take on the recent Kanye feud with Adidas and everything, but I would really want to put some light on this because a lot of people, as I said, Kanye is my guru and like I've blindly followed him. It doesn't matter to what he's saying and what he's not. At the end of the day, he's made such a beautiful shoe which is out there in the reality, and which is what you said also as you put the light on it, that it's a comfortable shoe and it's super sleek and it's super cool to wear, and I really give it to Adidas for coming to India first and like, you know, creating the sneaker culture and building a lot of community in India, which is super cool.
That's how it started, man. That's how it started.
That's when Nike and like other brands started focusing on India
as a market, as a potential market.
Started like targeting India.
No,
and, like,
absolutely,
you know. So Harsh, are you ready for a quick rapid fire?
Absolutely.
What is that one dream shoe of yours which you think that you would ever want to collect? Let's talk about clothing a bit. We have a lot of collection at our store. So I wanted to talk to you about the Indian culture, streetwear. As you've seen, it's growing over time. What are one of your favorites Indian streetwear brands?